Well, first of all, the mission hasn't failed yet. But the likelihood there's going to be the Taliban overrunning everything and owning the whole country is highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely. It happened immediately, but it's highly, highly unlikely. So the United States is evacuating Afghanistan. The United States is pulling out somewhat rapidly under Joe Biden. This sort of began under Trump, but it's continuing under Biden. And as the United States leaves, the Taliban is just coming back and taking over all these cities. Much faster, actually, than Joe Biden told us would happen. So actually now the United States needs to send 3,000 soldiers back into Afghanistan just to make sure that our embassy officials and our remaining soldiers and our translators aren't slaughtered by the Taliban before they can all get out. Afghan government forces, according to the Associated Press, are collapsing even faster than U.S. military leaders thought possible. The Taliban, which ruled the country from 1996 until after the United States invasion, after 9/11, has captured 3 more provincial capitals Wednesday. Probably that number is even higher now. I haven't checked in the last hour. The 10th and 11th cities that the insurgents have taken in a week-long sweep that has given them control of 2/3 of the country, which is more or less what they had before 9/11. Joe Biden, of course, the adult in charge. Finally, we've got stable leadership. He told us that this was not going to happen.
How serious was the corruption among the Afghanistan government to this mission failing there?
Well, first of all, the mission hasn't failed yet. There is, in Afghanistan, in all parties, there's been corruption. The question is, can there be an agreement on unity of purpose? What is the objective? For example, it started off, there were going to be negotiations between the Taliban and the Afghan National Security Forces and the Afghan government. That didn't come to fruition. So the question now is, where do they go from here? That the jury is still out, but the likelihood there's going to be the Taliban overrunning everything and owning the whole country is highly unlikely.
Highly, highly unlikely. It's highly unlikely. It happened immediately, but it's highly, highly unlikely. Oh, this will just 2 weeks to slow the spread. Oh, Hunter Biden didn't lose his laptop to the Russians. Oh, this, that, and the other thing. Is it any wonder that these people have no credibility whatsoever? Don't worry, though. Don't worry. The United States has a strategy. They know how they are going to stop the Taliban from overrunning the country and undoing 20 years of whatever we've been trying to do in Afghanistan. Do you know how they're going to do it? It's not the 3,000 troops. That's just to get our guys out of there without them being slaughtered. The way they're going to do it, and this is really, I did not expect this strategy. They are going to tweet at the Taliban known for its Twitter presence. They are going to tweet snarky hashtags. And that, you thought 20 years of military action and occupation was going to do it. No. The Twitter hashtag will. Quote, this is from the U.S. Embassy in Kabul. Escalating Taliban violence, including executions of surrendered Afghan troops, shows a lack of respect for hashtag human rights. Don't erase Afghanistan's human rights gains of the last 20 years. Yeah, what are you going to do with that, Taliban? Yeah, what are you going to do with that, huh? Frankly, I wish that we had known about this in 2001 and 2002. I guess Twitter didn't exist in 2001 and 2002. Would have saved us a whole lot of time and money and treasure and blood and effort in Afghanistan to accomplish, as far as I can tell, absolutely nothing. This is very sad. This is very sad for American servicemen who served in Afghanistan. What was accomplished? The one thing you could say was accomplished is that we killed Osama bin Laden. But we got him in Pakistan. We didn't even get him in Afghanistan. We got him many years later. But okay, let's say that's it. You go, you kill Osama bin Laden, great. So what are we doing? I guess in a moment of candor, if you got a few drinks in the State Department officials who have been sort of managing this thing, or the Pentagon officials, probably what they would tell you is we're just treating Afghanistan as a sort of overseas imperial territory. And we're just going to be there and we're just going to kind of manage it. They probably wouldn't tell you this on television, because I don't think the American people want an overseas empire in Afghanistan. And by the way, Afghanistan is known as the graveyard of empires. But to what end? What's the point? What does victory even look like? The United States has not been able to define that in at least a decade at this point. And so now we pull out, having accomplished very, very little, because the adults are now in charge. I'm glad you love that clip. I love that clip too. You know what you'll love even more? The Michael Knowles Show podcast, which you can get at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever you get your podcast. Go there right now. Oh, good. And subscribe and leave a 5-star review. Very much appreciate it. We'll see you next time.